Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. I'm Martin Wenzel. It is June 5th, and it is a Wednesday in-game, June 5th. Remember, all dates are in-game. Recording this, I believe, May... losing track of the days. It is May 18th in real life, so American Truck Simulator is in open beta. I am not using open beta. I am using all the map mods. Canada. We are in Canada, in Ontario, Canada. Cochrane, Ontario, probably. In between Hearst and Iroquois Lake or something like that. We got our new Peterbilt 389. Really loving the sounds we got. We are hauling HIMARS to Sept Isles in Quebec. And we still have 21 hours to make the delivery. Or 21 hours until we get to our destination. So it's going to be another driving day through Canada. Just still trying to figure out the gauges on here. That 15 hour, I don't know why it says 15H. I figured that's the hours of the engine, but we drove, we only were on duty for 11 hours yesterday, meaning we drove less than 11. But as of this recording and the last probably half dozen recordings, American Truck Simulator has been in public beta, public open beta for 1.35. I believe Euro Truck Simulator 2 is also in open beta. I just don't want to do the beta. I want to keep doing this profile. I don't want to damage it in any way. I did back it up, and I was thinking, I was like, should I do it? Should I hit the button, opt into the beta, download the beta? But I don't want to scatter all the maps, especially since we are up here in Canada, in the northern part of the States as well. If I had been in Phoenix, around, in the vanilla part of the map, I might have opted in. But there's not much we're missing. At least, I don't think we're missing too much at this point that it's worth it getting rid of all the mods we're using. Of course, when 1.35 drops officially, a lot of those mods won't work anyway, so we'll be in the same boat, but we're just going to keep digging along. The point of this channel is to drive around, fill out the log, complete deliveries, and talk about what's going on in ATS, and when possible, show you things. But I'm not going to be someone breaking stuff on a current basis, because I record my videos often weeks in advance of them going up, so it's not timely usually. I'm sure by the time this video, I'm hoping by the time this video goes up, 1.35 is already out. I'm already recording videos in that iteration of American Truck Simulator. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the emergency fueling. Looking forward to sliding the tandems. I forgot to turn off the waypoint here in Iroquois. I believe it's Iroquois Lake or Iroquois Falls. I think Iroquois Falls. That sounds a little bit more accurate. Let's see what the sign says. Yep, Iroquois Falls. Alright, I don't know if he should have pulled out there, but he did. That Jake brake sounds really good. That is, I think, the modded. I do have that Jake brake mod and for the sound, so I couldn't tell you the last time I heard some of the sound effects in this game from SCS. It's always been, I got the sound fixes mod, I've got the service, I think the brake mod, the Jake brake mod, the engine mod. There's all kinds of different sound mods. And at this point, I don't even know what SCS Sounds like vanilla. Alright, just cleaned out that waypoint so we are not getting inaccurate distance readings and inaccurate GPS directions. It wanted us to go down this next road and then double back to Iroquois Falls. Royan Naranda. So starting to get in some really French sounding names as we get closer to Quebec. And since we're up here in Canada, it's always a good idea to make a mention of ProMods. ProMods' new project for American Truck Simulator. Not exactly what I was hoping for from ProMods. I was hoping for a project in America, in the American 48 lower states, but nope. ProMods is going to come out with ProMods Canada, which will also be enjoyable because ProMods always makes really good map mods. I can't even play Euro Truck Simulator without ProMods running, and I barely scratched the surface of all the maps I have going in Euro Truck Simulator, ProMods and otherwise. To the point that I'm not even playing Euro Truck Simulator right now because it's such a hassle to get all the map mods correctly in place, and when I did get them in place, it takes about half an hour to load the game sometimes. And then I'll get in, I'll drive about, a mile, and I'll hit a point where the game crashes. And then I have to reload and hope it doesn't crash, and it crashes again, and something's wrong. I don't know what the problem is. I don't want to eliminate any of the map mods, but you have to sometimes. That's the way of modding, that you sometimes just have to cut out the dead wood that's causing the problem. That's why I've been kind of sticking with American Truck Simulator. A lot more interested, especially once we added the log system. Euro Truck Simulator, we wouldn't have that. I don't know what the European rules are, and it's enough to just do American Truck Simulator right now. Maybe in the future I'll get back into ETS too. Listen to that nice Jake brake as we get off the main, or we get off Highway 11, and I think we're gonna get back onto a more proper divided highway. Alright, so now we're in Quebec on Highway 117, divided highway. I don't know the the Canadian highway symbols, but I'm thinking this is probably one of their national freeways or national highways. Yeah, this sun visor makes it pretty difficult to see what's in front of us. Right in the middle of the windshield. And we don't want to forget that we still need to take our half-hour break before we drive 8 hours. Started at 4:15 driving. I believe that's driving. I think it's 8 hours of driving. But you can always err on the side of your duty time, which would be 4 o'clock. So we're going to want to make sure we get a half-hour break in, pull over for a half-hour break before noon. Back to ProMods. I'm excited to see what they bring out for Canada. I'm assuming they'll probably, the place where they're going to start is going to be British Columbia, I would think, so that they can get the most people hopping right into it, since Washington will complete the western seaboard, the Pacific coastline for America, and then you could input ProMods, which will be free. ProMods is free. It's always free. You can pay, I think you can pay like $1. I usually pay $1 to get you can get the download, a faster download, and it's downloaded in one package, but you can download for free and compile the package, and it's the same thing. It's just a little bit more hit and miss possibilities. So if you don't want to possibly waste some time downloading and things crashing, you know, the download not always working out for you, maybe that $1 is worth it, and that $1 goes to helping them with their server costs and obviously development. But I'm guessing, I haven't looked into it, I'm sure there actually is information where they're starting, but I'm guessing they're going to start in the British Columbia area, Vancouver, and I don't know if they'll go all the way up the western coast of Canada, all the way to the Alaskan border. And haven't heard anything if they're going to tackle Alaska along with Canada. But yeah, that's my guess, British Columbia, because then they can work east. The conventional wisdom, at least in my sense, of doing a map mod for American Truck Simulator is to start in the east, because those are the areas that are not going to be touched by SCS for quite a while, for at least 5 years. I'm going to say. We're not even to the Mississippi River. If you start out in Maine or Florida, you know, and that's where a lot of the work in coast to coast has been done, is in Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia. We can bypass the way station. Those places, it makes sense to put more effort in those areas, because those areas are not going to be covered by SCS for a while. Whereas there is some question why, and people have put some effort into Texas. There are quite a few roads, but they haven't put a ton of effort texture-wise and adding in props and all that stuff. And I think maybe they will, because Texas might be still a while off. But putting a lot more effort into a state like Utah or Washington Washington makes zero sense. Utah doesn't make much sense, since we know Utah is probably going to be the next one. But putting effort into the Midwest and to the eastern seaboard makes sense for something like coast to coast. And if ProMods were to get into the United States area of American Truck Simulator, I would think they would start in the eastern area. They would pick maybe the northeast, or anywhere else on the eastern seaboard, because those are areas that are not going to be superseded by SCS's DLCs anytime soon. But I think Canada, while SCS has said they do eventually want to get into Canada, I have a hard time seeing them doing British Columbia or anything in Canada until they get a lot more of the United States done. And because right now, again, we have this hockey stick thing going with the map. The delivery of Oregon and Washington has not alleviated that hockey stick problem with the map, where you have the Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, New Mexico. Nevada's kind of in there. Kind of makes it a little bit of a... But once Utah comes out and they can get over to Colorado and continue to move east a little bit more, chunk out the map, then I think they might go back, do British Columbia, start doing a little bit more in Canada. But I think the priority right now is the United States. And I think with ProMods jumping into the game in Canada, maybe SCS... I don't know what the relationship between ProMods and SCS is. I think they do have a little bit of a relationship. They do, SCS obviously knows about ProMods. And there might be a little idea there that, well, if ProMods is dealing with it, maybe SCS won't jump into that area right now. Just because the quality of ProMods work is so close to what SCS is putting out there. But in the end, SCS can immediately do British Columbia and charge $10, and there's nothing ProMods can do about that. It's, ProMods is playing in SCS's sandbox. But from what it looks like, what my guess is, and what my hope is, and no offense to, my Canadian viewers or fellow Canadian players or whatever, but I'd rather see the United States. Let's get further east of the United States. Let's get more of that, because, and especially with the knowledge that ProMods is going to be developing map mods for Canada, I think Canada's in very good hands. We don't need SCS getting involved, dropping Canadian DLC yet. I don't know what the timetable is for ProMods to release their first stuff in Canada, but when it comes, it's going to be good. It's going to be quality stuff. And really looking forward to that. Alright, we are just driving here. We're back on a 2-lane road. Highways up here divided, and then they go back to 2-lane. They do have a similar system to the interstate system in America, or in the United States. We haven't been driving on that system too much in this direction. I want to say that this highway shield is kind of similar to maybe US highway, where many US highways have been converted to divided highways, but a lot are still just 2-lane. Two-lane highways. Versus the interstate system, and Canada has its national highway system, and I think that's like Highway 1. And I think those are all single digits. I don't think they even get into double digits with the national, the interstate similar system. Let's pull in here, take our break. That was probably a jerk move on my part to continue turning left in front of that bus. I think that bus probably had to slow down to not hit my trailer. Alright, well, I'll see you around, let's say 11. Alright, let's get back on the road. So we've got five more hours we can drive. Probably we'll make it to Montreal, and not sure how long it'll take to get to Montreal, but I think if we go beyond that and try to get to the next rest area, that would put us over our drive time, so Montreal is the target. And if that leaves us short of 11 hours driving, that is totally okay. As long as we get tomorrow down, the ETA for tomorrow at a little bit less than 11 hours. Alright, we're coming into Montreal. And we might actually be able to push on to that next rest area. There actually isn't a rest area before. It only looks like it's probably another hour out. We'll see what time we make through Montreal. But I'll probably just stop here. We're under 10 hours ETA, so we'll be able to make the delivery very easily tomorrow. Alright, let's check the log here. Just did another 3 hours and 15 minutes of driving. So that gives us 9 hours and 15 minutes driving today, and 9 hours and 9.5 hours of duty time. As we stop here in Montreal. So we'll be set up good for tomorrow, about a 9.5 hour drive to Sept Isle. So until next time, please like the video, comment below, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Take care. Happy trucking. Goodbye.